Welcome to baloneybrain.com, everybody. This is, of course, your host, Used Toy or John House. Here with me, of course, is my partner in crime, my partner in weird news, Daryl House or Suburban Hobo. How you doing, Daryl?
Welcome, bienvenue, welcome. So glad to have you here with us here on a weird Wednesday at baloneybrain.com. We do have some weird stories for you today. John and I were just talking about some of the stupid things that are going on and just loving them. This was one of my favorites that came out this week. It was a robbery. So the guy who was robbing, there's the robber and the robbee, just so that we have these, two characters in place. He was giving advice. A robber had some advice for his victim. Reports the heist. He said, report the heist to your insurance company. Instead, the victim called 911. The armed robber walked up behind the man and demanded his bank deposit, according to the Indian River County Sheriff's Office. The robber told the man, just report it to your insurance company. Well, soon after, authorities found the suspect, identified as Seth Matthew Hart of Vero Beach, in a nearby field. Hart reportedly told investigators he had robbed the man, also swiped gray clothes from an unlocked car in the area. He was charged with armed robbery with a deadly weapon and grand theft. So, listen, I want your money, but if you just tell your insurance company, they'll give it back to you. No problem. It's a win-win.
Right. Armed robbery, I am surprised it wasn't a congressman.
I was going there. I really was.
Yeah.
I get it.
All right. Well, Randall Miller, drunk driver. This guy is an Ohio man, and he busts through a roadblock set to get drunk drivers. He had drank 10 to 15 beers.
Warming up.
But when he busted through, he didn't want to stop until he finished his Big Mac, because he figured he was going to be arrested. So he finished his Big Mac, kept driving, and of course the officers gave chase. And once he finished his Big Mac, he pulled over and was taken into custody. Police say his blood alcohol measured more than 3 times the legal limit.
We've been getting a lot of these.
Sometimes when you're buzzed, you got to finish your Big Mac.
Yeah, well, we've been getting a lot of these stories lately about guys, women and men, well over the legal, not just .08, but like 3.4, 3.7. Didn't we have a 4.1 recently?
We did. We had somebody who was over 4.
That's crazy. Well, I'll tell you what, I like this one, and I have sympathy for this one. We have so many crooked politicians. We have so many bad cops. And I do respect cops, and they have a hard job. I don't mean to just degrade them, but there are just so many who do dumb things. And this guy, he's a Hallandale cop. Hallandale is between Fort Lauderdale and Miami. It's just one of those small towns down by Dania and Hollywood. And so to this cop, he's filling out a community involvement report. When they interact with the community, they're supposed to fill out this little thing. So the story goes like this. It doesn't pay to joke around at the Hallandale Beach Police Department. Officer Josu Hernandez found that out the hard way. He filled out more than a dozen community contact cards with the names of sports celebrities and long-dead historical figures. Got him a 10-day suspension. But I thought he had a great sense of humor. Hernandez claimed to have talked with several celebrities, including Dwayne Johnson. He's The Rock. Johnny Bench.
Nice.
Johnny is, okay. Former catcher of the Cincinnati Reds. Howard Schnellenberger, which actually could have happened because he's around Miami all the time. Downtown Eddie Brown, former football player with the Canes and the Bengals. And he also listed Samuel Clemens, who you all may know as Mark Twain.
Mark Twain.
Yes. Samuel Finley Brees Morse, who invented Morse code, of course, in 1801. and he made comments on some of these. Next to Samuel Clemens' name, the officer wrote, loves poetry. And next to, he put Alexander Hamilton. He says Alexander Hamilton enjoys studying economics. Hamilton actually was one of our founding fathers and the first Treasury Secretary. And next to The Rock, he says he likes to wrestle. when When the chief of police questioned the officer last month, he said it was all just a joke. He apologized, promised it would not happen again, but he got a 10-day suspension. I feel bad. I would rather have a cop.
It seems a little extreme.
I would rather have a cop with a good sense of humor, the one that, fires 3 warning shots into the back of your head and then it says, stop!
Well, I've got a pretty good one. I'm betting this marriage isn't going to make it. A German couple's marriage got off to a rocky start because on their way home from the honeymoon, the groom stopped for gas, got gas, and then left the bride at the gas station.
Oh, I saw that.
He didn't notice it for 2.5 hours. So finally, after 2.5 hours on the road, he noticed she was gone, and he called police, went back where she was patiently waiting.
I was surprised he didn't. You missed it.
Well, I'm betting for the next however long they stay married, he's going to hear this over and over. Oh, Mr. Funnyman. Well, at least I didn't forget you on our honeymoon.
Yeah, that's going to be one that's going to be tough to live down, I'm sure. Well, folks, I'm going to wind up my part of the program today with something that Used Toy and I have been discussing this all week. And he and I are so smart and so socially savvy that we can't believe that we never did this. But we actually received a tip on a great story from one of our regular readers. And
Yes,
this is this is my friend Jo Bridges down here. Jo is a fabulous storyteller, and she reads Baloney Brain every week. And she sent me a post earlier this week, says, Daryl, here's one for Wednesday. You got to get this. And actually, I called John, this is my story because it's an Ohio story, and I didn't want him to get it first. So, Jo Bridges, thank you so much. You are in our thoughts and our hearts, and we want to encourage the rest of you all, because we never thought of this before. If you have a great story that you think we would be able to utilize on Weird Wednesday, send it to us. You can make a comment on baloneybrain.com. Right down the sidebar, there's a place for comments, or get it to us on Facebook. But we're always interested in your ideas, your stories. If you have a link, we would love to read it. We can't use everything probably, but we may give you a shout out and a big thank you from Weird Wednesday here at baloneybrain.com. So here's the story that Jo sent to me, and I love this. This is 1994, all right? The year was 1994. An Ohio court declared Donald E. Miller, Jr. dead. He had been missing for several years. His wife needed to formalize his death to qualify her daughters for Social Security benefits. Well, on Monday, Donald Miller appeared in court to testify on his own behalf that he really existed, and he lost. Did you get it? He lost.
Nice.
Almost 20 years after he was declared legally dead, he reappeared on the front lawn of his former wife's home, having left Ohio, dealing with alcoholism and unemployment. So he had good reasons, okay? He says, my paycheck was being taken away from me. I had nothing left. He said it went further than I ever expected it to. I just kind of took off, and I ended up in different places. Well, now he's 61 years old. He wants his Social Security number reactivated and would like to apply for a driver's license. Unfortunately, Ohio state law does not allow for a declaration of death to be reversed after 3 years have passed since the declaration. And on Monday, Judge Alan Davis up in Hancock County, who had declared Miller dead in 1994, declared him legally dead again, with Miller there in attendance in front of the judge. I just thought this was great. He says, I don't know where this leaves you, but you're still deceased as far as the law is concerned.
Was dead, still dead.
The former Ms. Miller, who coincidentally, and I love this, remarried a man also with the name Miller. You know what they say, once a Miller, always a Miller. She is also fighting against her former husband's resurrection because if he comes back to life, Ms. Miller would have to pay back years of benefits. She'd have to pay back all of that money for her daughters. So now, Donald Miller remains a very living dead man. And the judge said, every time you think you've seen everything, something like this comes along. Thanks,
Nice.
Joe. You're the bomb.
Well, for my final story, Denver ordinance could make the smell of marijuana illegal. Yes, because they have passed recreational laws in Colorado to be able to partake. The problem is they don't want it irritating other people. So they're actually outlawing the, I guess, odor of marijuana. So it shall be unlawful for any person to openly and publicly display or consume 1 ounce or less of marijuana. And basically they say that unconcealed, undisguised, or obvious, and that you can't have somebody perceive the smell. Now the thing is, this seems odd to make it legal, but then make it illegal for people to smell it. But I guess for people in their backyard, if their neighbor is getting all smoked up. But if the proposed rule passes, it would carry up to a $999 fine or 1 year in jail.
I am perceiving far-reaching consequences from this action, John. I mean, can you have a Taco Bell, but you can't smell a fart? I mean,
I hear you.
I don't know if I can back that up or not. I'm against it.
Here, pull my finger.
No, I'm not that kind of a guy. But listen, folks, it's been great having you here at Baloney Brain again. Again, thanks to Joe Bridges. Please, if you have a story, send it to us here at Baloney Brain, either through the comments or through our Facebook connections, and we will look forward to seeing you all next week. Have a great week, folks.
See ya.